or green arrow alpha. Good evening. It's Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. It's 6:30 p.m. This is the City of Franklin Common Council meeting. Madam Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Mayor Nelson.
Here.
Alderman Pecorelli.
Here.
Alderwoman Eichman.
She's here. She's in the restroom.
Okay. Alderman Hassan.
Here.
Alderwoman Day.
Here.
Alderman Salus.
Here.
Alderman Craig.
Here. Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, citizen comment period. Please excuse my voice. A little crackly, been taking my cough drops, so bear with me. City of Franklin meeting rules of decorum for attendees and participants. For those attending City of Franklin meetings, number 1, respectful and orderly conduct is expected at all times. Number 2, disruptive, Alderman Eichman's back here at 6:01, disruptive or unruly behavior.
6:31.
6:30, we'll go 6:31. Disruptive or unruly behavior, including but not limited to clapping, verbal disruptions, signs, and outbursts will not be tolerated. For those wishing to speak during City of Franklin meetings, number 1, approach the microphone when the chair opens the floor for citizen comments. 2, state your name and address for the record. 3, address your comments to the Common Council, Board, Commissioner, Committee only. 4, limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. I'll be the timekeeper. 5, no endorsements or electioneering are allowed. 6, speakers shall refrain from presenting unduly repetitious, offensive, threatening, slanderous, defamatory, or obscene remarks. 7, persons wishing to speak as a spokesperson on behalf of a neighborhood, subdivision, homeowners, condominium, or business association or similar group with common interests shall demonstrate their qualifications to do so according to City of Franklin Resolution Number 2007-6227 before speaking on that body's behalf. Questions may be answered immediately by the chair or referred to city staff for a future reply in a timely manner. Those not adhering to these rules of decorum for attendees and participants will be asked to leave or will be removed if necessary. Second document, and both of these are laminated and they're at the podium. This is under Chapter 19, under Common Council Proceedings, Citizen Comment Period. During the citizen comment period, no person shall speak for longer than 3 minutes at each council meeting, unless the City Council shall direct otherwise to an individual. City Council direction may take the form of unanimous consent. With that being stated, anybody wishing to speak, come to the podium at this time.
Good evening. Before I begin, I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I respectfully request that the council approve an additional 1 minute of speaking time so I may fully share valuable information regarding citizens' concerns on Paths General.
Is there somebody wishing to make that motion to extend it from 3 minutes to 4 minutes?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Linda, 4 minutes, go ahead.
Thank you so much. As we approach the holiday season, I would like to wish you and all the residents watching online a Merry Christmas. Do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men? These words are from Les Miserables, echoed a timeless truth during the 1832 June Rebellion in Paris. Citizens rose up not because they opposed progress, but because they felt unheard and ignored. While the barriers stood centuries ago, the message remains relevant. When people feel excluded from decisions that affect their lives, frustration grows. I'm speaking tonight on agenda items 13 and 14 regarding the Paths General Tax Incremental District and the proposed development agreement. In our community today, there's similar concerns when large development projects move forward without public support. Residents raise their voices not out of stubbornness, but out of care for their city, their neighborhoods, the environment, their future. On October 2nd, 2025, during an open house hosted by Mr. Ian Martin, a resident asked whether both the development agreement and TID had already been approved. In a front of approximately 200 people, Mr. Martin stated they had, and Mayor Nelson agreed. Tonight's agenda shows that neither has been approved. This discrepancy matters because transparency and truthfulness are essential when public trust and taxpayer dollars are at stake. With Franklin facing budget challenges, the city cannot afford to finance every large development, particularly those capable of proceeding without public subsidy. TIFs do not help taxpayers, they hurt them. TIFs redirect tax revenue away from emergency responders, schools, and core city functions. Therefore, city services are diminished. Police and fire go understaffed. Schools are restricted on essential resources, and maintenance is delayed unless taxes are increased to fill the gap. I also want to emphasize that the authority tonight rests with you, the aldermen and the alderwoman. The mayor votes only in the event of a tie. Each vote carries real responsibility and long-term outcomes for the community. Development is most successful when it is transparent, accountable, and united. When tomorrow comes, it should be a future this community can embrace with confidence and pride, not one that feels imposed. Do you hear the people sing? Like the barricade in Paris, it is a call for careful process, respect, and a better path forward. That one honors the voices of the people that you serve. I respectfully ask the council to vote no on items 13 and 14 until the development agreement is completed and shared with the public. Thank you for your time and attention.
I'm Heidi Blank at 7126 Brun Drive. Regarding the Potts General Development on the agenda tonight, Mr. Martin claimed he spoke with the neighbors, but he never came to the neighborhood to talk with the residents who have water issues from the Orchard View property. Mr. Martin explained at the open house that adding gravel to the ground will fix the problem. Filling a spring with gravel does not stop the water. It remains there and continues to flow. By putting buildings and parking lots on the property may make the water problem worse for us on Brun Drive. Mr. Martin promised neighbors to view the area, but he never did. I asked the concerns of the Brun Drive residents to be carefully considered before any decisions are made on regarding this development. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else wishing to speak? We'll be addressing it, Alderwoman, after this. Good evening, sir.
George Charneski, 7677 South 68th Street. So I'm not sure if this is the last meeting of the year or second to the last, but
Is it?
you tell me.
This is the last
It is.
scheduled common council meeting.
So, in the last year and a half, we got the Dairy Queen, the Taco Pros, the Dunkin' Donuts. They're building a medical facility down in that area. We're getting a Costco. We're getting Aldi's. Our strip malls are full, and you guys should get some credit for that because this is how the community grows. Those are a lot of good businesses that came here. So I thank you. I think it was a good thing. I think it's been a good year and a half. Franklin went way too long without getting any businesses. We had places staying vacant for years. Remember where the Domino's and Billy Sims? I think that those strip malls, I think they stayed vacant for nearly 10 years. And now everything is full. We're getting all these good businesses in. And I think that's a really good thing for the city, and you guys should get a lot of credit for doing that. Two, the last item on the agenda, is that regarding the through street for the high school? I'm not,
That's part of the legal challenge we'll be
that's part of the
discussing.
legal challenge. Is that all the legal challenge? Can you tell me that, or is that a good portion of it?
Without going into the details, because he's hitting me already, no, that's one portion of it, and that's all I gotta leave it for now.
Okay, I'm guessing that you probably won't like what I'm saying, but so far, quite a few of these discussions about the school board and what they want to do have been in open session. So I think it'd be great if it's kept in open session. I mean, it's literally the right hand suing the left hand. And it's really bizarre, actually. And, you know, I'd like to see, instead of school board suing the city, maybe if someone's listening from the school board, they can use that money to pay the teachers more money, make smaller classrooms, something that every student's going to enjoy and use and prosper from, not 16, 18 tennis courts.
10.
10, okay, that's still too many. I know for years, I tried to get the city to fix the tennis courts over in Lions Park. It was like the San Andreas Fault going through them. And they finally decided to do so. And then all of a sudden, they became pickleball courts. So 10 tennis courts are great. I just wish they were. But anyway, with that said, the last thing I want to say is that actually, I think the citizen comment period is run better in the last 3 years than it's ever run before. You're engaged. You tell us if we're wrong. You know, if we ask for information, you give it to us. You even bring the city or the alder people into the conversation. And that's something in the past that just never, ever happened. Everyone, I think it was the policy of the last administration, just sat there, stared at us, didn't say a word. You didn't know if they were listening. You didn't know what was happening. So I actually think you're doing a good job with the citizen comment too.
Thank you.
So anyway, thank you much.
Anyone else wishing to speak? If not, we're gonna shut her down. One last one, all right? Maybe I just want to bring it down a little bit.
I actually wanted to start out by pointing out two things. This is regarding the 76 in Rawson. First, Initech currently owns the property at 76.
Ma'am, could we just get your name and address for the record,
I
please?
would prefer not to.
All right, keep going. Yeah, where it works.
So first, Initech LLC currently owns the property at 76 in Rawson. And ironically, this principal address of Initech LLC is also leading to the address of a person by the names of James Picard. Second, James Picard is also a principal on Land by Label, the company that wishes to develop the same site at 76 in Rawson. Now, why does this matter? And this is all completely my speculation. If one individual is both the principal of Initech, which owns the land, and the principal of Land by Label, who intends to develop the land, then we must ask ourselves if there's questions of any delays, vacancies, or site conditions that are self-created. For purpose of the but-for test, this is considered common control. That means land availability, timing, and lease decisions are internal business choices, not external barriers that are created by the market. If the property was emptied by the owner and allowed to deteriorate, that condition is not blight. It is a business decision. If the property was functioning and generating income before tenants were removed, it shows that redevelopment was possible without public funds. If the developer chose to delay construction or withhold development to secure public assistance, that is a negotiation tactic, not a market barrier, and cannot satisfy the but-for test. In this situation, the obstacles appear to be a negotiation tactic, not a financial issue or market barrier. Self-created obstacles like delays, vacancies, and intentionally not maintaining the property cannot legally justify a TID. On behalf of the wetlands behind the property, it is a natural environmental condition that cannot fall under the legal definition of blight. Laws define blight as decay, neglect, or disinvestment. Wetlands are not the result of decay or neglect. Courts and auditors almost always say natural conditions do not count as blight because they weren't created by disinvestment or deterioration. A wetland is a known permanent condition that the owner, Initech LLC, James Picard, accepted that purchase. It is not a market barrier, so it does not create the external constraint required under the but-for test. The wetlands existed when the property was purchased. Any deterioration since is due to the owner's neglect and decision not to maintain it. Using this as a justification for a TID is legally invalid because it is a self-created condition, not an external market barrier. Approving a TID without a solid but-for finding exposes the city to legal challenges, audit problems, and potential long-term revenue loss. The but-for test exists just for this sole thing, so that wealthy investors can't take advantage of the situation to embellish themselves and help themselves. A TID can only be approved when there is an external barrier to develop, not when intentional blight and deterioration are created used as leverage in a business negotiation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. See no one else come forward. Closed session comment period, and we're going to have a little bit of rebuttal. So we'll be discussing a few things. I'll first start, Alderwoman, you had something to comment? Because I have a
Yes.
plethora of responses.
I just wanted to request if we could please get Ms. Blank's contact information if we don't have it, her phone number and her email address. If we could get that from you so we can get back to you on a few of your concerns about the gravel and so forth.
Yeah,
Or if you want to reach out to me directly, my contact info is on the city website.
I'll get you.
Or give me a call. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
You're good?
Yes.
So, okay, Mr. Craig.
To address the question regarding the school and the usage of their funds, the way that the referendum is laid out legally, they cannot spend any of those dollars that were raised off the referendum on anything except what was named in the ballot measure. So they can't move funds into salary because it wasn't listed. They could if it was listed as a operational referendum, but what Franklin Public Schools did was what's called a capital referendum. And so it's very specific in terms of what it can be used for. That has an expiration date as far as when, so if you did decide to do that into teacher salaries, those salaries would then decrease at the end of the referendum itself. So if they did an operational referendum, which was keep the lights on, pay teachers, pay staff, that would be something different. And typically, schools don't want to do that because you're going to be paying interest on that borrowing. And if you need to borrow to keep the lights on, probably not a good look and would lead to a lot deeper cuts as far as services offered by the school.
Exactly, I understand that. I
Right.
didn't mean they were taking money from the referendum. But they did-
We normally don't do a back and forth. He's just giving you a brief explanation, but you can have follow-up, sir, at any time outside this realm, because we try to do this thing, okay? Alderman, still on the floor.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so to respond back, again, and I'll respond this right directly to Ms. Linda Mathwig. So you've said umpteen times how nobody knows, nobody's been communicated with. That is an absolute absurdity. We've had 5 meetings at the library, 5, okay? Ian Martin, the primary developer, as you sit there with that smirk on your face, ma'am, I think that's very disingenuous. I'm trying to answer your question as right as straightforward as I can. We've had these meetings, the developer's been here, he's met with many, many neighbors, many, many citizens. Absolutely, and if anybody wants to have another meeting, gladly he'll do it at the library again. Absolutely. And you've gone door to door with people, ask these questions, do this, do that. We've done that. We've been down this path. This is not an easy decision at all to make. This is an $88 million project in the central city of Franklin. And when we look at whether it's SB Friedman or Ellers, our financial experts, you're not a financial expert. I'm not one. Nobody up here is, maybe one, kinda. We pay them to give us advice. And the advice is brought forth. Our Madam Director of Finance also reviews it, explains it to us how everything works, and what's in the best interest of the city. But I will agree with you on something, that if something's not in the best interest of the city, we're not doing it, okay? But we have to have these entities give us information, because you can read through this stuff and it can be a twisty road of whatever. No, So we do depend on them, but this is a very, very serious decision to make where we're gonna go. And there's great points that can be made of, hey, it's the central city of Franklin, we don't need to give them a dime. But then you look at other jurisdictions, everywhere, they're making investments in these redevelopments and new developments, and they have a housing component. So that's, I'm just saying that. Now, part of the water issues, we've got our city engineer right here, Mr. Paulos. He's kind of squirreled in the second row. He's trying to remain low key, but he's right there. So one of the things that we hear all the time, and the former mayor comes up and talks about, is the drainage and the water issues. Absolutely, that's a priority. Absolutely, it's a priority. Quote me, date, time, it's an absolute priority. And this, from day one, when those concerns were brought up, we brought them right to Ian Martin. We brought them to planning and engineering. We're not gonna create another mess. So whatever there now is not gonna be made worse, it's gonna be made better. And Ian explained that. He explained it a couple times. And if anybody wants Ian's cell number, I'll gladly give it to you. In fact, I'm gonna do it right now on record. And I want you to please call him and ask him direct questions. He is an absolute outstanding person to deal with, and he'll go on record. So Ian Martin, who's in charge of land by label, is 414-322-7782. That's the number I call when I got questions. He's been outstanding to deal with. And I know that's our engineering and planning people call that number too. So with that, I think I've addressed it. And young lady, to your portion, on your part, we absolutely are looking for our financial advisors that we pay a lot of money to do, to make sure that we're doing everything as legal, lawful, and in the best interest of the city. And if somebody wants to smirk on that, I could care less, because that's what we're looking for. We're paying people to give us sound advice. Sound advice, Linda, sound advice. And I'll, yeah, with your smirk, good. Represent well. Okay, next up, C, approval of minutes, regular common council meeting of December 2nd, 2025. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
We got a first, is there a second?
I second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have, a motion carries. No hearings, no organizational business, no letters under F as in Frank. Going into G as in George, number 1. A resolution authorizing the city to execute a contract for professional services with Root Pike Wynn for an information educational program for meeting the 2026-2027 Department of Natural Resources storm water permit requirements for a lump sum fee of $11,781. Mr. Paulos, our city engineer, good evening and welcome.
Hello, thank you. So what's in front of you this evening is part of our municipal permit with the DNR, the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Discharge General Permit, otherwise known as MS4, is required by municipalities, and part of that permit requires an educational component. In the past, the city has contracted with Root Pike Watershed Initiative for this educational component, which again is requirements. It's essentially a co-op that other municipalities use as well to try to keep costs down. It's basically a non-for-profit. And one thing they do want to, it's noted on here, I don't know if we caught it, but on June 16th, they're going to come in for a brief, exciting stormwater presentation to the Common Council, about 20 to 30 minutes. Just again, I give you a heads up. But otherwise, this is for a 2-year engagement for continuing their educational component for our MS4 permit, which again is a requirement of the DNR permit.
Is there a motion
I'll make the motion.
I second.
for option A?
Correct.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have all in favor, ayes, and opposed. Further discussion, Mr. Craig?
If this is a 2-year contract, will this have to be coming back into the 27 budget then as well? Or is this just a flat item for 2 years and we won't see this on a line item for the next budget?
I assume we won't see it for 2 years until
Cool.
it's up for renewal.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, motion carries with unanimous. G2, resolution authorizing acceptance of stormwater facilities maintenance agreement and stormwater access easement from Dr. Del Carpio Dental Offices, Dr. Nicole Del Carpio, 7181 South 76th Street, tax key number 755-1001-000. Taking this again, sir?
Yes, so
right.
this is a requirement of any developments, part of their stormwater management plan. Typically, have a stormwater management agreements. and also a stormwater access easement to the actual stormwater feature. So this is for the new developments, as the mayor mentioned, part of any development within the city, standard protocol.
Your motion.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G3, resolution to authorize professional services contract with HydroCorp LLC to perform cross-connection inspection services for a 4-year term for a fee of $122,643.08. Mr. Beardsley, Director, good evening, welcome.
Evening. This is just to cover our cross connection at all commercial, multifamily, industrial customers. We've been using them for the last 10 years and just like to continue it. Board of Water did pass a motion and recommendation.
Make the motion to adopt.
Okay, we got a first. Is there, all sorts of questions, hold on.
Do you have
Sorry,
an
Alderman
idea
Salus.
how many facilities that we are talking about in this citywide that need this type of inspection, which is very much commercial, industrial, I take it?
I don't have the exact number, but it covers, I think over the lifetime of the 4 years, like almost 800 inspections.
My second question, is there a possibility that we can do this inspection in-house? Because like I see some other municipalities, they have their own inspectors do it like on their free time, kind of.
We do the residential component, but as far as the commercial, industrial, the training, the time it takes, they do all the paperwork. We just send it to the DNR every year. It would take a lot of city time.
Is it
Yeah.
required by the state?
Yeah, every 2 years they'd be inspected, and every new entity that comes into the city.
So the inspection is required once every 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman?
Thank you. I guess my question is why HydroCorp? And have we gotten bids from other companies for this service? But this is a pretty high dollar amount, which just concerns me a little bit. And I'm just wondering if we've looked at other companies that could provide the same service for less.
That number's over the course of 4 years, so it's broke out in monthly payments, but there's not a lot of companies that do this, and being that they already have all our records and everything, and they've been providing a good service to us, and we have no complaints.
Thank you.
So we've got a first and not a second. Mr. City Attorney. Kelly.
In the resolution, it does state, subject to changes approved by the Water and Sewer Department, which means the manager who's presenting this item, city administrator, and the city attorney. The contractor has been provided with the city's standard form services contract, and so that's part of what ultimately this contract would be if approved, as worked through with contractor.
Okay, we have a first, we still don't have a second.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G4, resolution to execute 3-year service agreement with Prima Data LLC for printing and mailing utility bills. Let's take this one. Glenn or Madam Director of Finance?
So what's in front of you is an updated contract with Prima Data. They used to be partners with Bayside Printing. Our contract is up at the end of this year with both parties, and so now that Bayside Printing is no longer doing business with Prima Data, we're just asking for approval to move forward with processing utility bills through Prima Data only. The cost to print statements has gone down as well as inserts. So it will be a little bit of a savings for the city as long as the postage increase that is slated for 2026 doesn't outweigh that.
Alderwoman and Mr. Pecorelli.
Yeah, I guess my question, although the cost has gone down, is still a large cost considering that we've, for the time being, gone away with our quarterly city newsletter. In a world that's going more and more paperless, have we ever thought about an option for online billing where somebody could opt out and not receive their bill in the mail, such as We Energies and so many companies do, to save costs? And then of course, have it be, I just want to make this loud, so it's on the record before, and being accused of not thinking of those that aren't computer savvy or own computers, and then, of course, have the option to still receive a paper bill in the mail. Has that been anything that we've already looked at?
We already do that.
Okay.
So they do offer that, and if you give me 1 second, I can tell you how many of our, so out of the roughly 11,000 customers who receive bills, about 3,200 are paperless, and 3,000 are on auto pay.
How many are on auto pay?
A little over 3,000.
Okay. I'm just surprised the dollar amount is still that much, but postage continues to go up and up. All right, Elliot, thank you.
So I do have to correct the Alderwoman, the newsletter has not gone away.
Temporarily.
Well, no, it hasn't, it's not gone away. Not at all. So the printing still exists at this point, and I just want to clarify something, that the newsletter will remain getting printed and going to the City Hall, library, senior lunch, first Wednesday of the month, online, and we're actually bringing it back to council next meeting. That agenda item was assigned to Madam Director of Administration, Madam Director of Finance, and Lisa Huning to gather all the costs, everything there to bring it back to council. So it has not gone away at all. Mr. Pecorelli.
My question was regarding the electronic and how many were electronic, so we already answered that, so thank you.
Mr. City Attorney?
Similar to the primary, or the previous item, the resolution doesn't state anything about the city standard form. The action sheet does note that the city's boilerplate contract has been sent to the contractor. That's not been processed yet. So would suggest that adopt the motion, subject for an amendment to provide that the approval of the agreement shall be subject to such changes as approved by the water and sewer utility manager, the director of administration, and the city attorney.
Is there a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have, a motion carries. G5, authorize Health Department grant funding and agreement for Northwoods Software Development, Inc. for ADA compliance assessments and remediations for the City of Franklin website. Madam Director, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Ms. Henry.
Hi. Hello. Okay, I am here on behalf of updating the City of Franklin website to ensure that there's increased ADA compliance. So this has been a project with the Director of IT, the Director of Administration, and myself to make meaningful efforts to ensure that content is accessible. So through the efforts of the Director of IT, he was able to be in communication with Northwoods, who is our current vendor for our website services. They do offer this service to do an overhaul of websites and ensure ADA compliance. There are a lot of technical terms that I will do no justice. Jim has had many conversations with Northwoods and with the Technology Commission. So it went forward to the Technology Commission earlier this month to be ready for this meeting for approval, and they had laid out the parameters that they wish to have included in the Northwoods contract, and essentially seeking approval today to move forward with that, which they had recommended forward to the committee.
Madam Director of Finance, 10 grand, where's it coming from?
That is coming from a health department grant. So we were able to receive a grant to cover the funding for this.
Good. Questions? Alderwoman Day, then Alderwoman Eichmann.
Is there maintenance for this after it is implemented?
Well, so this is complex. So essentially, this is kind of the phase one of the ideal scenario, but it's enough to get the ball rolling. So like adding alt text and like navigation bars and things like that. The maintenance is more or less internal, so that when we're uploading new documents, staff are mindful of what we're putting up there. The IT director, myself, and the city administrator have discussed protocols to be in place to ensure that we're not digging ourselves into a hole of sorts again. Like if we just pay this, have it overhauled, and then slip back into old practice. So from that perspective, maintenance will be kind of on staff. And then I believe that it will be in IT's purview to see what future things we may take on as a city.
Okay, thanks.
Alderman Eichman? Then
I
Alderman
was just gonna
Peccarelli.
make the motion to authorize, I had my hand up,
Oh,
or why I was starting to talk, I'm sorry.
Mr. Peccarelli?
So as the other person on the Technology Commission, it was discussed quite a lot. We did have a number of recommendations, as you stated. There is, as part of this, I'll call it a scan of what our site is. That's what they're using for recommendations to make changes, and then there'll be changes. And so technically, in the future, you could use some kind of scan like that to give you a validation of where we sit as well. But yeah, there was a lot of discussion and definitely a recommendation out of technology to move forward with this. So.
Excellent. All right, we've got a first on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
First and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I
You
have
got
a
it.
motion.
You got it.
What? Mr. City
Yes,
Attorney?
Bessie?
I didn't look at this in detail because I thought I previously reviewed it before it went into the packet or to the council. The motion, there's no resolution and to approve, and the motion states that authorize staff to sign and execute a contract, and this is standard form, mayor, city clerk, et cetera, to sign it. And yes, is my guess.
Well, and ultimately, the resolution would be so that I could sign the contract to get it moving forward. If someone else wants to sign the contract, Mayor or Kelly, whoever can do it without a resolution, we can just provide the account number. I don't need to be the signing person on it, if that makes it simpler.
Well, what's in the packet has the mayor, director of finance and treasurer, and the city clerk. So, that's what's in the packet.
Well, what do we need to have? Do we have to have an amended motion to go back, or is the motion that was presented and voted on good enough?
I would amend it to either state to be signed by city public health nurse, or that it be executed by the mayor.
No, she's not the city public health nurse.
But you're saying, so motion to authorize staff, instead of that, say motion to authorize health officer or motion to authorize mayor.
Right.
That's fine.
Okay,
Mayor, treasurer, and clerk.
we'll go with mayor, treasurer, and clerk. Is that an amended motion?
My motion holds. That
Do you-
amendment.
What?
I said my motion holds with that amendment.
Oh, so, okay.
One more point.
One more point, Mr. Kozlowski.
And the certificate of liability insurance, you know, it does refer to additional insured status to those parties specified in the written contract, but city always requires City of Franklin shall be an additional insured and specifies the coverages therefore, so should at least contact the insurer by that.
Sure, Jim has been in contact with them, but I'll provide him that information as well to pass along that recommendation.
Exactly as it's stated, required in the contract.
Okay, we'll refer to Shirley on that as well when I need to review these notes tomorrow.
Outside of the contract.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, we had amended first, amended second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G7, ordinance to amend chapter 183, article 6, drugs and drug paraphernalia. What's that, Madam Clerk? Yeah, we're back to G6. A resolution authorizing Franklin Director of Health and Human Services to sign and execute the Ugland Associates LLC evaluation and data collection contract.
I make that motion.
Good. First and second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G7, as stated. An ordinance to amend Chapter 183, Article 6, Drugs and Drug Paraphernalia of the Code of the City of Franklin, Wisconsin to renumber 183-23.1, harmful substances, to 183-25, harmful substances, and to create 183-24, hemp-derived cannabinoid regulations. Who's taking this?
Ellen and myself.
Go ahead.
So I'm joined here today by Ellen Henry, one of our public health strategists within the health department. So she'll give a little bit of background on this and information, and then we can provide any additional contacts or answer questions you may have.
So some basic information is detailed in the council agenda or council action sheet. But the health department, as you know, an entity focused on overall population health, we are cognizant of emerging public health trends. A little bit of information: the passing of the federal 2018 Farm Bill led to a rather broad definition of what constitutes hemp, THC, which then also led to the kind of legalization of different hemp-derived cannabinoids within different retail markets. Currently, in the state of Wisconsin, there are no state-level regulations on these products. However, they are legal for sale in the state of Wisconsin. Several municipalities and other local counties throughout the state of Wisconsin have brought forward different local level ordinances to institute different local level regulations on the sale and distribution of these products. The ordinance outlined before you today is proposing the amendment of local city ordinances to adopt regulations for these products in our city. In addition to what is presented in the packet, we also have a letter of support from our chief of police supporting this moving forward, as well as a kind of a visual kind of key that shows some Delta 8 products that were purchased by our Volition Franklin coordinator in the city of Franklin. I'm going to pass these out for council members to take a look.
And then just to wrap it up, we also have been working closely with Jesse on this. So it has gone through legal review, and the Board of Health saw this ordinance proposition in their October meeting and recommended it forward to the Common Council for approval.
Oh, wait, sir. Okay, Alderman Eichman?
So did you say that there's a letter from the chief that should be in here?
Come on.
Coming your way.
Oh, coming in.
in
I
hot.
thought you said it's in the packet. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Any further discussion before we go for a motion? I think it's pretty easy.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Good.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. G8. Annual market adjustment to wage and salary rates, and progress to market wage adjustment for non-represented employees. This would be Madam Director of Administration, please. Floor.
Yes, so this was approved on November 11th of this year as part of our overall budget. It was taken into consideration. This is bringing forth the 2% non-represented increase that has been approved as part of the budget. So this item, obviously, we are recommending approval and anxiously awaiting it.
Discussion? Mr. Sluse?
If this was, I do recall it was approved in November, why is it on the agenda again?
I'm not exactly sure. I know that we do this every year. We bring forward the total amount of change.
Okay, thanks.
It's a good question, though. That could have been done. All right, is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
First and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G9. In order to amend 245-10C, parking of the municipal code of the city of Franklin, Wisconsin, which pertains to forfeitures and for violations of parking regulations, increase the forfeitures thereof.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G10, 2026 property and casualty insurance coverage. Ellie?
I think it's pretty well spelled out, but essentially, we are requesting to accept the 2026 property and casualty insurance coverage. The changes are detailed in here. The premium changes overall have increased by 16.4%, and it reflects additional property valuations, changes with that, additional coverage enhancements, and we have a change with our workers' compensation. That was the significant premium increase of 36.5%. It's mainly due to the experience factor. Our property coverage, we've increased 10.6%, and that is has a lot to do with our DPW expansion project, and as well as the vehicles that were moved from there on the list, the contractor's equipment list. Cyber liability has only increased 1.8% this coming year, and as we all know, this is a very imperative coverage to have, and our IT department has fulfilled all of the requirements that the league is requesting the city to fulfill in order to renew. Crime insurance has decreased 1.7% over last year, or this year rather, and then the additional services that we get with the league. We believe that it is a good proposal and that the city, we are recommending approval of this renewal. I will also like to point out that we had allocated in our budget $828,700 for the insurance coverage, and we are coming in at $782,549, so we are under budget.
Excellent. Questions? Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
First and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. 11, a resolution authorizing the Director of Administration to execute a service agreement with Geographic Marketing Advantage LLC to provide Geographic Information System, GIS, support and database maintenance services for 2026. Madam Director, you have the floor.
This is another annual contract that we bring forward. The difference with this one is that the owner of GIS has retired, or is officially retiring this year. However, his employee, Brian, who has been here with the city for a number of years, I don't even know how many, 19, 18? So very long time. He is well respected, and he is a great collaborator. He's going to stay on and continue the work that the two of them were doing here. So there is a decrease in the overall from what we're paying this year. And that is obviously taking into account that the owner of the company is retiring. So staff recommends renewal.
Motion to approve.
Second.
First and second, all is in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. G12, 2026 professional service agreement between the City of Franklin and Racine County for services to verify a certified soil tester's soil and site evaluation. Madam Director of Administration.
This is another annual contract. So we have this with our folks in Racine County where they bore samples every year and test them. This is a recommendation of both inspection and the administration department to continue on with this contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
First and second, all is in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G13, resolution authorize certain officials to execute an agreement with Ellers and Associates, Inc. for financial services related to the potential creation of a tax incremental district located on the corner of South 76th Street and West Rawson Avenue.
Motion to adopt.
Oh. So we've got a first, but hold on, we've got Mr. City Attorney.
The insurance amounts in the contract
Kelly? Thank you.
don't match what's in the certificate of insurance. So that should be addressed. And there are some other technical changes I would recommend with regard to the insurance provision, such as removing instructions italicized in brackets, et cetera. So I would suggest that the motion should include an add to the resolution to be subject to changes by the Economic Development Director, Director of Finance. I'm sorry. We're on G13, right?
G13, George
Okay.
13.
Subject to changes by the Economic Development Director, Director of Finance and Treasurer, and the City Attorney.
Who made the first on this?
I did. My motion holds with that change.
Okay, we have a first, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Let's do a roll call on this. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jason, go ahead, Alderman.
Thank you. Just to be clear that this is not the creation of the TID, but this is only to contract with financial services to give us advice and counsel regarding a potential tax incremental district, correct?
Yes and no. This isn't moving forward with the creation of the
No, no,
TID, but
that's what I'm
they
saying,
are
that-
preparing all the documents that are needed to be presented to the council and the joint review board for a potential creation.
That's what I was trying to get across. So, thank you.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. Mr. Salus?
I recall that there, like in the past, a few times they appeared here, like, you know, in relation to this project, but it was the Friedman, I believe. Are we switching consultants here?
No, so we use both. Sometimes SB Friedman is the one that is doing the financial analysis, the but-for test analysis to make sure that it meets all the requirements. Ellers is just doing the TID creation documents and all of those financial cash flows needed to present the project plan.
Don't you think that we have to approve the TID before we hire someone to write the documents? Because to the best of my knowledge, formally, we never fully approved the document to begin with.
So they need to create the documents in order for them to be presented before a TID can be formed.
Because the Friedman, they tried to answer the question, is the TIF, legitimate and could be justified? That's one answer. And the Ellers is the ones who write the actual document. So
They're the ones that-
did we finish the first stage? Which is like, did we formally approve the TID?
The TID has not formally been created yet, no, but these documents that Ellers are preparing need to happen before the TID can be created.
Like when Friedman came a couple of times, met with us here, and there was a presentation, and there was numbers, and there was back and forth, but we never voted on approving the tax increment. My understanding, because I spoke to Ellers people, they're saying, there is two steps. There is the approving the increment, the tax increment, and we create the documents. So to the best of my knowledge, we never formally approved the TIF.
It has not been before the council yet, no.
So, Mr. Mayor, could you please elaborate on that?
Well, she's elaborating right now.
So we-
I mean, I don't know much, I'm not going to repeat what she just said.
Yeah, the documents that are created, like the TID creation documents, the feasibility analysis, all of the state submitted requirement documents, all of those are created by Ellers. They are presented at phase 2. They're presented to the council, they're presented to the joint review board. And then following any sort of formal approval of the TID creation, Ellers will prepare the documents to send to the state.
This is seems kind of backwards, but this is the process. You have to have all of those created in order to have anything to approve.
Okay, now I understand.
And I think she just summed it up perfectly. It is in the reverse. And it appears that way, so that's why this is the way. So I know we have a first. Is there a second over here?
I did the second.
Second, let's do a roll call on this, please.
Alderman Petrelli.
Aye.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan. Aye. Alderman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Okay, 6 ayes, 1 noes, motion carries. G14. So let's say here, potential tax incremental District 10, creation thereof and process development agreements between the City of Franklin and LXL PG Apartments LLC in relation thereto for properties in the southeast corner area of South 76th Street and West Rawson Avenue. Such potential developments to be named Poth's General, and to effect such developments, including the terms and provisions of said development agreements, the Common Council may enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 1985, sub 1, sub E, for market, competition, and bargaining reasons, to deliberate and consider terms relating to potential residential/commercial developments and proposals, and the investing of public funds and governmental actions in relation thereto, and to effect such developments, and to re-enter open session at the same place thereafter to act on such matters discussed therein as it deems appropriate. So is there a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make the motion to go into close.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderman
Aye.
Aye. 6 ayes, no noes, motion carries. We'll be going into closed session, folks. When we come back out, we'll make the announcement. Mr. Reggetz will be securing everything.
Great night. Happy holidays. Yep. Bye.
Okay. All right, good evening. It is officially 8:24 PM. We are back in open session. Is there a motion as to proceed as discussed in closed session?
I'll make the motion to proceed in.
First and second, all's in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We're gonna list this, go into close, and take a 5-minute break. City personnel compensation alignment discussion, the common council may enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 1985, sub 1, sub C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and to reconvene in open session at the same place thereafter, to act on such matters discussed therein as it deems appropriate.
Second.
First and second, roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. 6 ayes, no noes, motion carries. We're slowly creeping. By the snow, please. Sure. 8-minute. 9:31 PM, we are back in open session. There's a motion to proceed as discussed in closed session. We'll make that motion.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Why don't we go out of order? Out of order. We're gonna go to G17 because council's here. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Franklin Public Schools et al. Versus City of Franklin Common Council et al. Milwaukee County Circuit Court Case Number 25-CV-8557. The Common Council entered a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 1985, Sub 1, Sub G, to confirm with legal counsel for the Common Council, who is rendering advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to the subject litigation, and to enter open session at the same place thereafter to act on such matters discussed therein as deemed appropriate. Is there a motion to go to close?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Hassan. This will be all those on. Why don't we go with a roll call, please?
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
6 ayes, no noes, motion. Yeah. It's 10:35 PM. We are back in open session. Is there a motion to proceed as discussed in closed session?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
First, second, this will be a roll call vote, please.
Hold on. Take a second.
I'm in the forest.
Yep, yep.
And roll call.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Abstain.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
5 ayes, no noes, 1 abstention, motion carries. Going back to 16. This is killing me. Agreement between the City of Franklin and JPM Acoustics Noise Vibration and Potential Amendment to Agreement between the City of Franklin and JPM Acoustics Noise Vibration for sound monitoring, noise mitigation, and compliance services at the Taxing Governmental District Number 5, Ballpark Commons area. Common Council may enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 1985, Sub 1, Sub E, for market competition and bargaining reasons, to deliberate and consider terms relating to the agreement between the City of Franklin and JPM Acoustics Noise Vibration and a potential amendment thereto, the investing of public funds and governmental actions in relation thereto, including terms and provisions thereof, and to enter into open session at the same place thereafter to act on such matters discussed therein as deemed appropriate.
Motion to go into closed.
Second. First and second, roll call, please. Mr. Peccarelli.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
Aye. 6 ayes, no noes, motion carries. Let us know when we're creeping
Can we take a?
hard. There you go. Close. All right, it's 10:59 PM. We are back in open session. The motion is to proceed as discussed in closed session.
Make that motion. Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on to licenses. Who's taking licenses?
I am.
today? Alderwoman Eichman, you got the floor for licenses.
Thank you. License Committee met this evening, and the first 3 new operators were approved. The 4th new operator under Romy's is being held for correction of application. The 2 operators after that, one for the Bowery and one for Walgreens, are being held requiring appearances to meet the License Committee. The rest on that page 1 are approved, and everything on the second page was approved as well.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, roll call please on this.
The licenses?
Why not?
Okay.
Practice.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan. Oh, okay. Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
6 ayes on those, motion carries. Ayes and Ida, vouchers and payroll approval. This also is a roll call. City vouchers on any date of December 11th, 2025, in the amount of $3,073,605.48, point 2.
Motion to approve.
Payroll dated December 12th, 2025, in the amount of $524,000, $708.68 in payments to the various payroll deductions in the amount of $301,128.59 plus matching payments and .3 estimated payroll dated December 26, 2025 in the amount of $483,000 and payments to the various payroll deductions in the amount of $532,000 plus city matching payments. Is there a motion?
Yes, motion to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Craig. Roll call, please.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan. Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
6 ayes, no noes, motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. 11:02, please advise when we are off.